Hi everybody and welcome to Matrix Live Season 8, Episode 13, we think. It might have been 13 last week, who knows? And as you can tell, we have switched to the wide-angle lens because we have more people here in the Goldfish Bowl at Matrix Towers than we've ever had before, almost, plus or minus about 10 people. But very, very glad that we're joined here today by a considerable amount of beeper.
Yeah, I think about a quarter of the team, actually.
This is massive.
That's all come to London here. Yeah, so we're visiting the Element offices this week, kind of joined from all over the planet, kind of centralizing here. So thank you to Matthew for hosting us.
No, it's been a pleasure.
Absolutely, it's been fun. We've been hanging out mostly with the back-end team here, just getting to meet some of the folks that we've been working online with. And it's been great to see, meet face-to-face and go out for a few drinks yesterday after work.
Yeah, sorry I couldn't make it.
Yes, you'll have to make it tonight. My name is Brad Murray, co-founder and CTO here at Beeper, and I'm coming in from just Waterloo, just outside of Toronto, so I'm pretty tired right now. Joining me is Talir here, our bridge lead, famous from many Matrix Lives of the past, flying in from Finland. Adam here, who is our client lead, joining from Vancouver. Bradley, also from the desktop team, just down the road. And Nick from Brighton, who leads our infrastructure team. So, again, thanks for hosting us here.
Welcome everybody, and so exciting to be able to actually do a Matrix Live in person like this. So I think honestly the best bet is me to hand it over to you guys and say all the cool stuff that's been going on Beeper, and you've got a bunch of demos, right?
Absolutely. So last time we were on Matrix Live, it was back in March, and that's a long time ago in Beeper time and Matrix time. And we've been working on a lot of things. We've been working a lot of new work on the desktop app that we'll be demoing. We've been working heavily on this new infrastructure that Talir will talk about more, and that's going to allow us to scale to a lot more users, a lot more bridge development, and a very shiny new iOS app, so we're going to run through all of that. First, I'm going to hand it over to Talir to kind of talk about some of the work that we've been doing on our new infrastructure.
Yeah, so, well, first of all, we have this new infrastructure project, and the idea of that is to be able to scale to tens of thousands of users and even further than that. Originally we just had a Synapse and bridges. Each user gets their own bridges. That has always been how we do it, and that will all be how we continue. But as you may know, Synapse is not known to be the most performant thing ever.
It has improved a little bit in Synapse's defense.
Yeah,
it
has definitely improved, but it's still won't work for us with that separate bridges for each user. And we have a few thousand actual Synapse users registered, but we have 26 million users in the users table on Synapse because of all those bridges that everyone has. So that's just obviously not going to scale. The solution we've been working on and are deploying now is HungryServe, which is basically a unfederated home server that everyone gets their own little home server in addition to a Synapse account. So we started working on it early summer, and a few months ago we started deploying new users to it, and it's working great. The magic really is RoomServe, which kind of splits traffic between the federated Synapse and the user's unfederated HungryServe based on the room ID. So for the clients it's completely transparent. They just see a home server, but on the back end it's two different servers. One that handles all the bridge traffic and another one for the native matrix traffic.
So this is basically a home server that doesn't have any federation, no state resolution or anything like that. It is literally just going and exposing loads of bridge to users through via the client server API, and then your client either talks to a normal Synapse or it talks to this really, really stripped down home server to pull in those tens of millions of bridged users.
Exactly.
It's really cool.
Since it's it doesn't do any of the federation stuff, so it can be really light. The database we are just using SQLite. It works fine since it's just one matrix user and bridges, so it works. And we are using this thing called Lightstream for streaming the SQLite database into S3 so that it's on the local disk. When it's when the bridges or Hungry Serve are using the database, it's just local disk, but it's also like backed up to S3 almost in real time. So if the node crashes or something, we don't lose much data, and we can just pick it up and continue.
That's very cool. So is that using the SQLite kind of replication stuff that it has?
It's like reads the write-ahead log.
Right, so it's
and streams that, basically.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Who needs Postgres when you got SQLite?
Yeah, and like it works surprisingly well. Like I think for federated home servers, there's like a lot more write traffic, and that's where SQLite kind of falls apart. But we only have that one user and bridges, so there's not like there are a bunch of events, but it's not unmanageable, and like it works and it's performant.
And is this open source or proprietary, or what's the plan?
Right now it's proprietary. We're kind of considering the options, but haven't decided on whether it will be open source. Like it would be kind of interesting to, for example, have room serve open source so that you could have like multi home server things. And also kind of Hungry Serve having self-hosted, that would be nice, but it's also kind of our kind of competitive advantage to have that like bridge stuff. It like really performant, and that, and like you don't really need Hungry Serve just for bridges. Like they work fine with Synapse. I personally still use it with Synapse, so they will continue working with Synapse forever. No risk of like having Hungry only bridges or anything like that.
It's a really creative solution to the scaling challenges there. Congratulations.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been really interesting. Like I was really skeptical of it, to be honest, when we first started looking at it. It's like, we're gonna build our own home server, really? Like you realize how much work like Element and Matrix have put into Synapse, the hundreds of thousands of lines of code. And that was something I was kind of terrified of. But like by cutting so many corners, because all we care about is bridges, I think Matrix Go is about 10,000 lines of code, and Hungry Serve alone is about 10,000 lines of code. So it's actually a pretty slim, boring implementation at the end of the day. So
Boring is good.
Boring
software is the best.
Software is the best. Awesome. We're on a schedule, so let's keep going.
I'm going to have to run away in a quarter of an hour, but feel free to continue longer without me if that makes sense.
No, I think we'll keep it a nice snappy 20 minutes, I think.
Let's see how we do.
Thank you, Talir. Over to Bradley, I think, to talk about some of the work that we've been doing on the desktop client and to make your inbox easier to use. So this has been out for a couple months now, but we've never demoed it on Twim, so we'll show it off here.
Cool.
Yeah, people use chat apps in so many different ways, and building an inbox for everyone to use is quite a challenge. So what we've kind of landed on is we have this idea of a smart inbox here, and all of your unread chats will go into it by default, and you can configure your inbox to move your chats down. Are they seeing this screen?
Yes. This is it's being recorded.
Cool. And you configure your chats into to move into an archive section, sort of either after X amount of minutes after you've read them, maybe after you've responded, or never. People like massive lists. Some people like getting to inbox 0 and having really clean inbox there, and this one's pretty good actually. 4 chats, not too bad for what do you know? Or have you just like cleaned this out?
Cleaned it out right before this. Yeah, this is my inbox, but then I left these unread so that we would have things. So
yeah, the big thing here is like we've gotten a ton of feedback about how disorienting it is to bridge together 10 networks all in one app. That's been one of the biggest things, where people are kind of used to their family chats being in one place, their work chats being another, and kind of using the different apps to segment their chats. And we've had these challenges where it's like, okay, how do we make your inbox sane? And so turning the inbox into a more task-oriented thing where you can control like these are the messages I still have to action, these are the ones I have to work with, and just trying to bring some sense of peace. And normally when people think of chat, people don't think of peace. So this has been our attempt at it, and we're rolling it out across all of our clients.
Exactly, yeah. you can imagine adding 5-6 bridges and having a load of messages come in. You want some kind of management there to sort of triage them quite quickly, rather than being overwhelmed by a big massive list of rooms there.
Feel free to open the archive and stuff and show it. These chats should be fun.
When we didn't have this, you'd have...
It's our company chats, but it's all good.
We didn't have the archive, you just had this massive list of chats that sometimes some people wanted, but otherwise it is quite an overwhelming list of sections of rooms, and you can have them in the inbox. If they're unread, they'll be there, but also you can pin your chats and they'll pop up. And then you have this idea of your favourites as well, that people you sort of talk to quite often, and you always want to be able to quickly access in your inbox.
That's one of the problems we've been struggling with from the outset on Matrix, of whether you should be thinking of it more like an IMAP style experience, where you have all of your conversations forever and ever, and it just feels weird to like start deleting them or even hiding them, or whether it should be more ephemeral, more like an IRC client, where it would just be weird to have old conversations hanging around forever. And that's like a really nice way to find the compromise solution, and the auto-archiving is found.
Yeah, and I think also everyone knows that we are like a fork of the Element clients across all of our clients. So this is, you might have seen previous demos and it might have looked awfully a lot like Element Web in the past. And this is one of the areas where we're starting to kind of go our own way on user experience and try to really focus on that like personal messaging, instant messaging kind of use case, and build something in our own direction. To keep moving, demos. Adam, do you want to share some other stuff we've been doing?
Yeah. Talk about iOS first. If I can AirPlay it, let's try. No, I need you to unlock your phone.
You need my face.
Yeah.
Oh, that shock was probably fine.
I'm sure static is good for phones. Sweet.
Yeah, so this is our like kind of heavily worked on, heavily rebuilt iOS app. So again, starting off with Element iOS, but earlier this year really focused on kind of making the code base our own. So we've been hard at work, and I think people have seen the kind of iteration that we've been doing there. One of the big things that we've been focusing is actually removing features. So for something that like Element iOS, which is the reference flagship client for all Matrix iOS clients basically, there's a lot of functionality in there that doesn't really target our use case, and we've been really focusing on just cutting everything down we don't need. So when we first started, I think there was about 220,000 lines of code, and about 65% of it was Objective-C, and now we're about down to 120 lines of code.
120,000.
120,000 lines of code. The majority of it's now Swift. The other thing you can see here is that we are starting to bring in the consistent UX paradigm across all of our clients. So again, you can see the inbox at the top, the archive at the bottom, the spaces down the side, and you can swipe up to go through all of your archive chats. But normally when I open my phone, I just get this beautiful sense of peace, and I can get rid of a few chats. Inbox 0. So
peaceful.
So peaceful. So yeah, this is our rebuilt iOS client, and everyone that's using Beeper today have access to that, and hopefully it's been a much smoother experience than our iOS app earlier this year.
Cool. Close that and jump back to desktop for a bit here. One of the other things we've been doing, so as we have all these bridges and these bridge networks, I mean, if people use them self-host or used to self-hosting and running themselves, usually you're dealing with a bridge bot to interact with them, and we're trying to sort of streamline that user experience for for our customers to just both for bridge setup, which is like, I mean, we've got our sort of setup flow that we do that automates, I mean not automates, but like lets you go through, you just scan your WhatsApp QR code, etc., to set up your bridges, and then we've been adding some APIs specifically to the bridges to do things like starting a new chat, which is not something you can usually easily do from, since it's not Matrix, it's not the same network. We're trying to start a WhatsApp chat or a Signal chat. Then you can. So if I go to a Signal, we'll just do a demo. I need a phone number to start a chat with.
Do you have me?
Let's see.
Are you doxing me right now?
Let's see. Sharing a lot of phone numbers here.
Basically.
I don't have Brad in my contacts currently.
I'm not going to give you my phone number.
Oh, we'll edit this part out.
Yeah, we'll edit the phone number maybe.
Do you want mine?
Yeah, somebody hit me with one. I'll just start one with a friend of mine. Why not?
Dog's your friend.
Yeah. No, I don't have.
It's not on Signal.
Not on Signal. Well, that doesn't work. So,
I'm definitely there.
well, all right, Bradley, what's your? Maybe we can black out the phone number.
The audio here is redacted to avoid doxing people. It would really be a shame if you heard someone's number and used it for evil.
A couple of things to notice as we've been through this is like, you saw all my contacts and shared all their phone numbers, which is great. So we've done some integrations with Google Contacts and with Apple iCloud Contacts if you're on a Mac, and so we can, if you link your contacts to Beeper, we can pull them and you can start your chats directly, or you can just type in a phone number like this, and apparently,
I definitely do.
I don't know, well, maybe Signal wasn't the right one to test. We'll just jump and do a WhatsApp chat. I already have a WhatsApp chat with you. It's just live demos are the curse of everything. Here's another. Let's go WhatsApp here. Have a WhatsApp chat with him. Should have picked a contact before I did this, but Telegram. I don't have a Telegram chat. Perfect. So, Telegram chat. Hey Brady, this is a friend of mine, so we'll see if he's online. But I think it's really early for him, so probably not. So let me just go to my Telegram chat, so we should be able to see this. That's Messenger. I'm not good at icons. Yeah. So, starting chat lets you just. It's a feature that's relatively new to Beeper in the last, 5 months ago, maybe 8 months ago. Lets you just jump in and start a new chat with your bridge networks. And it's pull in your contact book, type a phone number, type an email, any of your bridge networks that we support, which is pretty much all of them support start a new chat, which is really handy for ones like iMessage and Signal, which don't, there's no backfill capability there. The networks won't expose we can't import your history for those. So if you bridge Signal, you're left with an empty inbox and you want to message your friends, you can just type in the phone number and off you go.
Beautiful.
How's the iMessage bridging working these days?
Pretty good.
Yeah.
And that's a whole bunch of Macs stacked up in a data center somewhere, or?
Something like that, yes.
Okay.
Still definitely a very tough network to bridge. I'll definitely say that.
It'll be interesting to see where the changes they announced yesterday or the day before end up in terms of adding in end-to-end verification and a whole bunch of other extensions. And there's a rumour they're rebuilding the whole thing to support the legendary Apple XR products when it finally launches, which could be interesting.
Yeah, but that announcement kind of surprised us a couple days ago, and we're still, I think today we are incompatible with that, and we need to do some research and explore how to figure out how to support that.
Yeah.
Finally, so we've been talking a lot about HungryServe and our migration from bridging away from Synapse, but long run, our goal is for Beeper to be the easiest way for everyone to get a Matrix account. So we're not going any way away from Synapse. We're continuing to build on Synapse, and Nick here is going to talk a little bit about how we've been contributing back to Synapse and scaling it up for in preparation for adding a lot more users next year.
Yeah, so we while we've got Synapse still running for a whole bunch of users and bridge users, it's been a really good test case for kind of scaling Synapse. We have been kind of addressing this by splitting out the Synapse caches into or adding another layer into the Synapse caching is a better way of putting it. We've brought in some Redis instances, and we've set up a shared cache that is shared across all of our Synapse workers, which has allowed us to. I'm trying to find the dashboard. Sorry.
Yeah, and I think people know that Synapse you can run as the common single process thing that people use for their own personal use, but then also the worker setups that allow you to scale to matrix.org sizes. For us, we're running 20 to 30 workers at any given time in order to support our workload, and today each one of those has, for the most part, their own caches, and we've been working on bringing all these caches to a centralized place so that all of the workers can share the same memory, which has a bunch of benefits that Nick will get into.
Yes. So the initial, one of the main benefits is we had a problem with sync workers where their memory usage over time will basically always trend upwards, and there's this kind of unknown event causing memory usage to spike up, which never gets recovered, and over time leads to garbage collection or Python garbage collection kind of spiraling out of control. You can see here on this right chart that we have now managed to cap our garbage collections at kind of 3 seconds. And the key to doing this is we're actually just shooting these workers every time they reach that level of garbage collection. So you can see the memory chart here. Every 15 minutes, a new sync worker gets started up because we're basically just getting a previous one that went over its limit. And the Redis caching has really enabled us to do this because we no longer have the cold start problem, because all of the stuff that was in the cache of the one we just shot is actually in the Redis cache. So the new one comes up and just pulls it straight out of Redis super quick, which avoids killing the database. This has been like a real game changer in terms of like this kind of flexibility of the Synapse worker deployment we have. We can just like throw workers up and down now based on load, which is really helpful and something we weren't able to do previously.
Yeah, and all this code is in our like open source fork of Synapse, and like part of
Yes.
the goals of us hanging out this week is we're going to be chatting
Yeah,
with
that
Eric and the rest of the backend
Yes.
team to get that upstreamed, hopefully soon.
Yeah,
Yeah,
this is
that's
something we've been hoping to do for ages, to factor out the caches between workers or even between home servers for the event cache. And there was some experimental stuff done by Halfshot a few years ago that didn't quite work, but if you've gone and polished it to the level that we can merge it, then that would be a fantastic instance of contributing back. So thank you.
Absolutely. Yeah, we've been using this in production for a couple months now, and it's been working great.
Very cool. Cool. Well, any last thoughts or comments? Are we going to see any other contributions upstream? Because on one hand, it's great to see all the amazing things that Beeper is doing and fixing so many of the problems which we have in the classic Element apps, but also a bit frustrating sometimes that the contributions don't always necessarily make it back to the core.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think we're still looking for, like, I think that's part of this trip as well. Like, it's a great thing to meet people face to face and figure out ways for us to contribute better. Like, we are building our own roadmaps, and we are have our own goals, our own priorities and stuff like that, and those don't always line up, but we are at the same time still just trying to make Matrix better and figure out the spots that we can collaborate on. So yeah, very happy to be visiting this week and figuring out where we can help out and where we can work together on things.
Excellent. Well, thank you for taking the time to go and give us a whole bunch of excellent demos, and thank you for watching, everybody. Have a fantastic weekend.
Beautiful. Thank
Bye.
you.